What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. We continue with our 2023 predictions. The Pitt Panthers are up next. Let's take a look at some of the other predictions. The FPI has them at 7.1 and 5.2, so about a 30% chance to get to the ACC championship. That's a pretty high number there. Athlon has them at 8 and 4. The over/under is at 6.5. So really, you're looking at predictions anywhere from 6 and 6 to 8 and 4. A team coming off of a 9 and 4 season last year. My thoughts on this team, they're going to be good. They're going to be solid across the board. I don't see any real areas of weakness. I don't really see a lot of superstar type players on this team either. Offensively, Phil Jerkovich coming over from Boston College. That'll be interesting. They've got a solid stable of running backs. Pretty decent at wide receiver and tight end. Offensive line pretty good. Again, that's kind of the theme with Pittsburgh. They're pretty good everywhere. They're not great, but they're not bad anywhere. The strength of this defense is going to be the cornerback position. They've got some really good cornerbacks, so it may be tough to throw the football on them, especially if they can have a good pass rush to go along with that. This team has a chance to have a really good defense. So yeah, I think Pitt's going to be solid like they always are. This is one of the more consistent programs, and you can expect them to get into a bowl game, plus maybe more than that this season. So let's see this schedule here. They're going to play Wofford, Cincinnati, West Virginia, and Notre Dame in the non-conference. So that's their non-conference schedule. They open up with Wofford. Then they'll play Cincinnati, so we'll jump into that Cincinnati game. I think Pittsburgh's probably the better team. You're kind of starting over at Cincinnati. It's almost a complete rebuild there. New head coach, a lot of players left, transferred out, graduated, whatever. So they did bring in some transfers that will help them to where they're not going to be a terrible team this year, but they might actually be the worst team in the Big 12. So I think Pittsburgh, you look at this matchup, they are an established program playing at home. Really just no reason to expect them to lose this game. So I think Pittsburgh gets off to a 2-0 start. Then they'll play West Virginia on September the 16th on the road. That's a tough place to play, and this is a West Virginia team that's going to want to run the football, very similar to Pittsburgh. It'll be interesting to see this matchup play out. I think it's probably a lower scoring defensive battle. I think home field advantage, though, might make the difference here. I think West Virginia is a tough place to play. It's not maybe not talked about a whole lot as being one of those tougher places, but it is a tough place to play, and you're talking about a good matchup here. Again, defensive battle, running the football. That's what West Virginia likes to do. That's what Pittsburgh likes to do. West Virginia did a nice job in the transfer portal, adding some depth. They've got a lot of experience on this roster. Neither team is going to be top 10 in talent, but again, a lot of experience and just a well-coached team there at West Virginia as well. Neil Brown now with a little bit of time. I know they haven't really gone up a whole lot there. They haven't really become a contender in the Big 12, but they've still been pretty solid. And again, I'm just going to say home field advantage makes the difference here. West Virginia gets the win over Pittsburgh, and they dropped to 2-1. I could definitely see that one going to Pitt, though. That should be a good one. Next up, North Carolina on September the 23rd. Talked about the strength of Pittsburgh's defense a second ago. It's the cornerback position. What's going to be the strength of this North Carolina team? It's going to be the passing attack with Drake May. So I think this one plays into Pittsburgh's hands. I think they're probably able to kind of slow this game down, run the football on that North Carolina defense, keep Drake May off the field, and keep the possessions limited for North Carolina. I think this will be one at home for Pittsburgh that they find a way to win. And again, I just like the matchup here for Pitt. I think they beat North Carolina and get to 3-1. Then they go on the road to face Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was not very good last year, but you look at this team this year, I think they have a chance to be better. I think they've got a decent amount of talent on the roster. They've got a decent amount of production experience coming back. So I think this Virginia Tech team will be improved this year, and that's another tough place to play. Again, you got West Virginia and Virginia Tech playing in both of those places on the road in the month of September. That's going to be pretty tough. I think Virginia Tech pulls off the upset. I think they're due for maybe a big win this year, and I think this is it. So I do have Pittsburgh losing that game. If I had to say what Vegas, go with Vegas and what they're going to say about these games, I'm going to say they probably will favor West Virginia and Virginia Tech by like a field goal. And then that North Carolina game, I really don't know what they're going to do there. So those three games I think will all be close, very good games. I think they go 1-2. I could see them going 2-1 and starting off 4-1, but I'm going to go 3-2 there going into the bye week. Then they'll play Louisville on October the 14th at home. Going to be a talented Louisville team. A lot of players coming in through the transfer portal. I think that they actually could be a sneaky good team this year that no one's really talking about. So I think this is going to be a tough one for Pittsburgh, but I do think playing at home with their run game, their physicality, that's going to be enough. I think they win this one at the line of scrimmage, and they take down Louisville, so they go 4-2. Then you got a road game against Wake Forest. Wake Forest is going to have a really good offense. They do every year. I know they lose Sam Hartman, but trust me, they've still got a lot of talent on offense. Problem is going to be their defense, and I think Pittsburgh is probably able to do pretty much whatever they want. This is going to be a Pittsburgh team that, yes, they're going to want to run the football, but they'll have pretty good balance as well, and I don't see Wake Forest slowing them down enough. I think Pittsburgh wins. Another close game, but I've got Pitt taking this one, getting to 5-2. So I think all of these games, West Virginia to Wake Forest, maybe even Cincinnati, I think all those games are really close, maybe all one-score games. So you can see how this season can go really either way for Pittsburgh. Notre Dame here on the 28th, on the road, going to be a tough one. Pittsburgh will fight hard in this one, probably a lower scoring game. I do think Notre Dame playing at home, though, is going to take care of business here. I think the Irish get the win. But again, I think it's going to be a close one. I don't see Pitt going in there and getting blown out. If they get blown out this year, I think it's probably this game against Florida State. This is a tough matchup here. The balance of Florida State, their ability to run the football, throw the football, their defense is going to be good as well. Going to have a really good pass rush. I don't see Pitt really competing in this game. I think Florida State, I've said it before, I think they're one of the top 5 teams in the country this year. Even at Pittsburgh, I don't think that's going to matter. I think Florida State takes care of this one, and I think Pitt drops to 5-4. Then they'll play Syracuse on the 11th, neutral site game. Probably going to be cold up there. This will be an interesting matchup here. I'm not real high on Syracuse. I don't like what they have on their roster, really. I think they're going to struggle this year. I think Pittsburgh will be able to take care of business here and win this one. Then you got Boston College. Again, you got the transfer quarterback against his old team. Interesting there. Weeknight game. This one should be good. I think Boston College a little bit underrated going into this year. I know they had a rough year last year, but they've got a lot of production coming back. Quarterback position is going to be a concern for them, though, and I just think Pittsburgh is still the better team here. So I've got Pitt winning this game and getting to 7-4. Then they'll close things out on the road at Duke. This will be a good one here. Another close game, and I think that's going to be the story here. Probably, I'd say 6 to 8 of their games will wind up coming down to the end. Maybe one possession games. So it's going to be a really fun season if you're a Pitt fan. Hopefully, especially if you win a lot of these games. But Duke's going to be a good team. Duke is going to be a good team. Pittsburgh might have a slight advantage in just overall roster talent, but this Duke team has a ton of experience coming back. They were able to really prove a lot of people wrong last year. Obviously, well coached. Again, a ton of experience. A lot of starters coming back for Duke. A lot of production coming back. Plus, they're playing at home. I actually think Duke is the better team, and playing at home, I think they win this game. But another close one. So 7-5. That's my prediction for Pittsburgh. Could see them going 8-4. Maybe they beat Duke or Virginia Tech or even West Virginia and get to 8-4. 6-6, also a possibility. They could lose to North Carolina or Louisville plus these other games. So I'm right there in the middle at 7-5. That's where I think they're going to finish. Would love to get your thoughts. Give me your predictions on Pitt down in the comments below.